Hello, I'll be walking through filling out an EIB, specifically the manual journal EIB. And just to mention, this EIB is linked to the journal voucher journal source. So let's jump into it. I'll go ahead and open up the EIB template, and we'll start on the first tab, Import Accounting Journal. So you can think of this tab as the header or summary of information of the journal. You can hover over row 5, the fields, to read additional information on what to enter for each column. Starting with the header key, this always needs to be entered, and I will go ahead and start by entering it with number 1. This is what allows the row of information or the summary of information to link to the journal line of information that we are going to enter in the second tab. So for now, next is the autocomplete, and this will most likely be entered or marked with N. If it's marked with an N, it indicates the journal will go through the appropriate approval process. However, if it's marked with a Y, it will bypass the approval process and go to the controller's office for review. After the autocomplete is the company, which is the company you are submitting the journal for. So notice how row 4 indicates the format of how cells should be entered. So it needs to be the company reference ID, which for College Park is UMO1. So I'm going to go ahead and type in UMO1. If you hover over the company field, it shows you the correct values to enter as well for the other campuses. For the accounting date, once again, notice the format, and I'm going to go ahead and type in today's date. The balancing unit is the fund, so I'm going to wait to fill this in. So I'll go ahead and skip this for now and come back to it. For the memo field, I'm going to enter manual journal EIB upload example. And then I'm going to leave the rest of the columns blank as I don't need to enter an external reference ID, which can be used if you have a third-party system that should be linked to the journal. And also the last two columns, I'm not creating a journal reversal, so I'm going to keep those blank as well. So now I am going to go to the second tab. Again, starting with the header key, this always needs to be entered. This is what allows the row of information, again, to link to the journal information that we entered in the first tab. So again, the first tab is that summary, and I'm linking the journal lines that I will enter with number 1, since I entered 1 on the first tab. So line key is also going to start with 1, and the next is going to be 2, and so on and so forth to represent the journal lines within each journal. But I'm only going to enter a 2-line journal entry in this example, even though the guidelines to fill out an EIB template is 50 lines or more. So again, I'm just going to do a 2-line journal entry in this example. So line key is 1 and then 2, so on and so forth. The line company is going to be the same as the first tab, UMO1. Let me copy and paste that below. The ledger count, these are a 5-digit. And if you don't already know the ledger count, you can use the report RPT 743 fin account revenue and spend category to ledger account lookup. And you can enter in an object code to get the spend and revenue category and the associated ledger account. So for example, if I go into Workday and search ledger account lookup, the report populates. I'm going to go ahead and click into that. And I'm going to enter in object code 3916 in the spend or revenue category. And a spend category should populate. Oops, 3916. There you go. Office supplies and spend category SC00248. So that's the spend category that I'm also going to be using in this example. So as you can see, the revenue or spend category, the spend category in this example, and the associated ledger account, which is 56,300, which I'm going to be using again in this example. So I'm going to take that 5-digit ledger account, 56,300, go ahead and enter that for both lines or both rows. The account set is always going to be UMD child master. So I'm going to go ahead and copy that down. Next is the debit and credit amounts, which they have to match off. And it doesn't matter if you have the debit line first or the credit line first. So I'm going to enter in 100, 100. I'm going to leave the memo line blank since I put one on the header, but feel free to add one to the journal line memos if necessary. And then again, I'm going to leave the external reference ID field or column blank. And then next, I will have to enter in that spend category, SC00248. And I'm going to enter that for both lines in this example. Oops, hit that in 8. And then since I entered in a spend category for both lines, I don't fill out a revenue category. It's one or the other for each line. And then next, I'm going to enter a driver work tag, which is either a USource, grant, project, or gift. So let's say that I have the account number, but don't know the driver work tag ID. So again, I'm going to go back into Workday, pull that up, and then I'm going to enter in the account number in the search bar. And as you can see, it populates the related driver work tag. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. And then I need the driver work tag ID or code, which in this instance is US002040. So I'm going to take that and enter it into the USource for the first line. And then I'll do those same steps for the second line. And it gets me US009634. So the rest of the columns after the driver work tags are optional work tags. I'm going to leave these blank again, but again, these are optional. You can add one in, and once again, you can hover over the fields for a better description on one header in the cells. And then, so you may think we're done, but if you remember, I did not enter a fund for the balancing work tag. So in order to get that fund ID, I'm going to have to go into Workday, and I'm going to go into one of the driver work tags, either of those USources that I pasted in the template. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to repeat the steps, enter in the account number or the ID. And again, it brings you to this page. And if you scroll down, you can see the related work tags. And you'll see fund, cost center, balancing unit, higher ed, function code, detail code, which again are the related work tags, which I need fund. If you go over, you can see this FD40100. So that's when I'm going to copy and enter into the template. So I'm going to grab that, go back in the first tab, and paste that in there. So once again, it doesn't have to be the first driver work tag or the second, it doesn't matter. We just suggest using the first one just because it's more convenient, most likely. And then lastly, I want to call out that this EIB is for journals with 50 or more lines. This is just an example on how to get you started. So I hope this helps, and thanks for watching.